Unity is a very complex term. It's very broad. It stands for, the Right for Unity has several themes. Would you call it themes? Unity, diversity, inclusion, sustainability, and tolerance. And now with these geopolitical difficulties, it's very important that we focus on humanity, on who we are, how we as people connect with each other, as neighbors, as friends, in communities. And that's why I feel as a member also so passionate about it. It's fundamental in all of us. We want to connect, we want to be together, and we have to look out for ourselves, but also each other, because in that we will grow. So in all this turmoil, you need to be a positive force. And they chose sport, cycling, as a way to connect. But that's very ancient, isn't it? Like cycling, you are alongside each other. In hiking, you are alongside each other. When you walk together, when you cycle together and you do an activity together, you are facing towards the same destination. So it's very symbolic. So yeah, I'm very proud to be part of this movement. When you're moving together in the same direction, then you're looking at the same. Maybe you have different perspectives, but you're walking towards something together, and in that you connect. But in that you connect with each other more than when you are sitting opposite each other. So I find it very symbolic that we ride together. It's a ride for unity because we are next to each other. This is where you meet each other. It often feels safer, and that's I can't make references to research, but this is something, say, general knowledge and research has been done about it. But if you are together next to each other, it creates a different dynamic. And why I'm saying it's ancient, if you look at these old trails, what is it in Spain and in France, you have this old trail people walk, but these are from the olden times. People would travel together. It is an ancient way of heading towards something. But during those journeys, you connect. And during those journeys, you come across a lot of challenges, and hence you have to build resilience. I mean, it is a road to resilience. So there's so much connection here, and I think nowadays it's so easy via the social media to spread a message of hatred or frustration, and so it is very important for us to be aware of our own humanity. And I think the Right for Unity is such a movement. It just makes you also stop and think about it. And people from different walks of lives and interests are meeting each other and are sharing information, and you're winning from each other from the meetup. So it's just a lovely concept. It wasn't a decision to join. It was I became a part of Right for Unity thanks to Leah. She is a very dear friend and inspirational in what she does, and I really loved when she was talking about Right for Unity, and I really loved her vision. And the vision that Right for Unity is spreading. And since I'm a cyclist and I was training quite a lot, an amateur cyclist, but that's one of my bigger passions in life, apart from being a mom and a wife. But I love the amateur cycling sport. And she said, we're doing the Right for Unity 7 Emirates. Would you like to be part or support? And I said, any way I can help support, I'll be there. So actually that is how it grew. I had some personal conversations during the ride because as you write, you come again next to each other, and then you're talking about what activities you've done, travels, the work some of the people are doing. So that was very inspirational to hear, and you just exchanging. There's a lot of wisdom in what the people bring to the table. So it's not a particular story, but what I liked was the ambience, and not even the story shared there. But for instance, Carlo, who joins us, he's a magnificent writer. You can see that. You don't have to see that. And I didn't know his backstory. But then you not only hear about what a great, for me, cyclist. I noticed the way he cycles, that he was a really good sportsman, but then also his background, what he had to struggle through and what he's struggling through daily. Or Justin, who last year when we rode together, who just has such incredible power to just join, and he makes it look easy, and he just slots in. And the support back and forth. The children, they visited schools, and the children were absolutely in love with Herbert that was there, and Justin and Carlo. This was last year, and the way they engaged with them, and because they're the willingness to engage, they inspire the kids. Still, I'm part of the parent council of that school, and the kids still bring them up. And they are also used in the school to highlight certain character traits, as courage, resilience, and then they use. I think they used one of the writers last year also as an example. So living examples. So yeah, till this day, kids, people, and I know myself, if something really great happens to you and you feel heard and seen, and you see someone battling through something that almost looks impossible, health issues, and they just make the best of their lives. It's such a force, such an energy that stays with people, stays with the children. And I know the school is very much looking forward to meeting the Right for Unity members again. So there are so many stories, but in the end, it's just the energy and the feeling they leave. It leaves behind. I think one of the easiest or the clearest things is with children, it's in the moment. It's in the moment. So if there's a good energy or there's something fantastic going on, it's fully celebrated and experienced. And that's something we can learn from. And when you go to meetings, you have ideas, preconceptions, and children teach us to just park them and try to be there with an open mind. And they're direct. The children, the barriers are not as built up. So it's liberating in a way to work with children. So I think that's what we can learn from being with them, among many other things, but also the live in the moment. I look forward to the connection. I personally, I consider myself a lifelong learner. I'm just intrigued by what people do in life, what they're learning, and the willingness of them to share their experiences. So I'm looking forward to meeting the other writers and the speakers, and to take aboard the wisdom they are willing to share, and they are sharing. So yeah, there's so much to look forward to. What I think is unique with Right for Unity is the diversity of people, but also the diversity, not only of people, but of what people are doing in life, where they are in life, where the backgrounds they are coming from. Okay, diversity is much wider than just a cultural topic, different cultures, and people forget. We tend to forget that, but I think that's also what Right for Unity brings to the table. It's people from different walks of life, different backgrounds, different educational backgrounds, different interests, different personalities. We don't live in a world where there's only one way of thinking, one way of being, and one way of doing. So when you see little examples of groups, inclusive groups in front of you, it brings hope. It could be inspiring. Maybe it just makes you sit for a second and think, okay, it's not only my way of thinking that has to be persevered in has to continue, or is the only right way. It's humbling, and it is centering. So I think those initiatives are really, really important. And the more turmoil there is, the more important it is that you invest time and focus on these initiatives. And sport is such a sport, and cycling, which is also really nice. Cycling is actually really inclusive. Anyone can cycle from when you are young. Okay, you have to become a toddler, but you can be on a bike till you can't walk anymore. And even if you can't walk anymore, in Holland, they have people that can't walk. They put their wheelchairs next to the bike on an extension. And I was there this summer, and I was cycling and training, and they were taking up people from the elderly homes on a seat next to the bike, and they were cycling. It's such an inclusive sport. Now with the e-bikes, people can just continue. I cycled with a friend who was a sports person and a fantastic racer, and he had lung cancer, but he has oxygen, and he adjusted something. He has oxygen with him, but he also has an electrical bike and a battery. So now he led the peloton for the first 20 kilometers. He pulled with his e-bike, so we could all go faster. And then he turned up. So and also that is inclusion. And talk about, and it is also a diverse group of people now. You have young and old, different age groups. So cycling, and it is relatively easy to learn. So once you've learned, and if the country or the city where you are supports safer ways of cycling, it is a very inclusive way of movement. So that's also healthy. Talk about sustainability. It's also better for the environment, but it's also good for mental health care and for mental stability. So there's so much in it. And if you're more stable, you're more tolerant. I mean, it has a knock-on effect. So absolutely, no, it is true. No, so
absolutely.
Or you expect to be a bit more tolerant, but it makes sense because you're less irritable. So two situations. So there's so much in it. There is so much in it. If you live in a diverse community, tensions can rise a bit higher. So I think these movements are very healthy for people to connect, because when you see each other, in the end, we're all families. We all want to have a hi and a bye with our neighbors and feel safe when we close our door. It doesn't matter who they are, where they come from, the background. That in the end, if we really look how we live with each other, if we're all just safe towards each other, that's really what counts. So I think in those very diverse communities, that will be great. But also in communities where there is little diversity, just to highlight how important that is. So no, I don't have a specific place or country or in mind. I think it could be anywhere. It could be anywhere where they could be. Historically, even now, and the news make it seem that so that's dehumanizing. In the end, we're all human beings, and you can be, and then they say against religions or against certain principles, but in the end, if you know each other as neighbors, in the end, when something goes wrong, even though you're not friends, you will help each other. It's the humanity in it that is so important. So it is. I love the principles they stand for. It's very important. Yeah. Diversity, inclusion, sustainability, tolerance. These are all topics that are so easily spoken about. And are they actually lived out the way they speak about it? So I think that would, to travel through various countries, highlighting also the successes of inclusion and diversity. And I think there are some great examples in Europe throughout just several countries. I can see Right for Unity do that. Also highlighting the challenges. And it's the same for the Middle East here. I love that we are based here and that we are part of this positive movement and highlighting the importance of connection through various actions. There's a lot of turmoil, but there's also so much warmth and connection and care that's also not shared worldwide. So it's really nice to keep reminding people, via media, but also reminding people that the Right for Unity members meet and vice versa about the importance of connecting, of including, and of tolerance. So I think we have Right for Unity has an important role to play here. I'm a third culture kid, traveled around the world. So I've experienced how important it is as a stranger to be included, but also how you deal with tolerance, how you can have different opinions and different cultures, and how you deal with that, and how to be part of that. So so it's my own life experience that makes it very much so why it's so close to my heart. And maybe that's it really, that I experienced firsthand through my travels, and as a third culture kid, how we just have to live together. You get a different mindset because you don't grow up in just one country, and you see the beauty. It's easy to see beauty in the different ways of approaching life when you can observe it, or when you grow up with in different cultures for a while. And if I can be part of that and send out that message, then that is just, it's fulfilling to do that. And especially in these chaotic times, I think, and in a transient society. I live in an expat community as well, and we are all trying to live our best lives. So tolerance in that aspect is very important as well. So and I look forward to meeting people that are also busy with that, and Right for Unity offers that. So it's both ways. I hope to actually also be part of the message that Right for Unity is sending out, that people do feel included when they meet me and they meet the riders. Included, a message of tolerance, sustainability, diversity. These are very near to my heart, and And if that can be done through the sports or certain topics, then yeah, that will be my pleasure. That will be my contribution.